John Felt here, and this is the Blue Water Outlook Weekly Weather Briefing for June 2nd, 2024. I think the theme of this briefing is a transition. We're going to have a significant transition upcoming that's going to occur this week, and it's going to last right through mid-June, if not longer. Let's get started with today's weather briefing. First off, let's talk about weather hazards this week. We have the risk of severe storms today, in particular in this region right through the central part of the nation. We have unusually hot weather in Texas, and that's shifting into the western U.S. And then we have thunderstorm activity that's going to produce heavy rain, resulting in flooding, especially in those areas in yellow. Okay, so last week, talking about severe weather, lots of severe weather. Look on the right, once again, sixth week in a row. Sort of interesting, the pink is hail and the yellow is damaging winds, and it's sort of typical for these storms to maybe develop into the plains with hail and tornado activity and then spread off to the east. So you can sort of see these started with hail, tornadoes, and then they moved off to the east here and produced high winds, derechos, damaging wind events. And that's sort of the evolution of these systems. This can be in the afternoon into the evening, and these windstorms can go well into the night. So here's a heavy rain last week, southwest U.S., not a drop, and that's sort of be this theme. And, you know, I talked about this hot and very dry southwest U.S., and that might be something I talk about for quite some time now that we're heading into summer, or we're into meteorological summer. But we did have pockets of heavy rain, especially along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, the upper Mississippi River Basin, right through the central part of the U.S. Now, temperatures last week, green being below normal and yellow being above normal. This is going to change a lot this week. But look at Texas here. We average 6 to 10 degrees above normal. And the hottest temperatures, this is pretty classic here, right in this area. This is what I've been talking about quite some time now, how it could be such an unusually hot summer in that area. And anything in red was above, or orange was above 100 degrees. Anything above red, above 105, and I think I even see a little bit of purple there, that's nearing 110. And that's just at the very first days of summer. Okay, so we have a bit of a muggy air mass over the central part of the nation into the east and southeast. Dew points in the 60s and 70s, and once again, this is going to be a transition week. This is going to change a lot as we go through the week as well. If you're interested in rivers, here we go. Some minor flooding, that's orange. A few spots, some moderate flooding, red. And down towards Houston and parts of eastern Texas where we've had the extreme rain, rivers are still running quite high. Here's even one spot that's reporting some major flooding. I'd have to take a look at that a little closer to see if that's actual data or not, because around it doesn't look as extreme. Okay, so anyway, right now what we have is we have this system area of low pressure. We have this area of high pressure pushing to the north, ridging to the north, and this is over Texas and giving us our 100-degree weather in Texas. Okay, so this is the big transition. By the end of the week, we have an amplified flow with a ridge of high pressure and corresponding well above normal temperatures in the western U.S., and we have much cooler and a jet stream sagging to the south in the east, and this is going to be very refreshing weather, almost like mid to early spring weather in the east. Now you want to see how that looks on temperatures? Well, here we go. This is a transition between here and here, next 5 days. Take a look. You can really see how the heat begins to build in the west and the cool weather moves into the east. And maybe not as intense as we get into the middle of June, but it's still there, that pattern. So this is something that's going to last for a number of weeks. If you're in the west, expect well above normal temperatures building. And if you're in the east, especially the Ohio Midwest into the Great Lakes, the Ohio River Valley, really pretty cool mornings and pleasant afternoons. So here's our rain this week. We have some enhancement of rain with the Pacific system affecting the Pacific Northwest, especially higher elevations. Central U.S. again, and this is going to put a couple rises on rivers, and I mentioned those tributaries within these pockets of heavy rain could see some flood potential along the areas of the heavy rain. Now here's week 2, and that pattern of cool weather continues, and it's also going to be a stable pattern. So that dew point that's muggy is going to go to drier, and the warm temperatures are going to go to cooler. That means stable air, so our severe storm activity should be reduced for many areas that have been quite active. So again, in summary, today's briefing, I think what we need to keep an eye on is the areas of excessive rain in these areas in yellow that could produce some tributary flooding, some urban flooding, maybe some flash flooding. And then overall, I think we're shifting into an unusually warm western U.S. Also keep in mind we have the chance for severe storms and enhanced risk today over parts of the central U.S. That's this week's weather briefing. Y'all have a great week. Take care.